Welcome to another edition of Coffee and Beats. I am your musical barista, Rod the Magnificent, back with another classic album review. Before I get into my review, hey, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications if you're following me on YouTube. If you're on Instagram, hit that follow button. Hit that follow button. It only helps the algorithm. And again, if you're enjoying these episodes and you got a lot to say about some of these albums that I am reviewing, mention it down in the comment section.
This is Coffee and Beats, right?
It just makes for good content, and hey, I just want to engage with all you guys and get your thoughts and opinions on a lot of the records that I am reviewing. And in my third and final chapter of classic album reviews, I have for you Depeche Mode with their 7th studio album, Violator. You have 9 tracks. The album clocks in at around 47 minutes. And for a lot of you that are watching this, many of you are familiar with Depeche Mode. If you are not familiar, Depeche Mode is an electronic music band based off Essex, and they formulated in 1980. Originally formed by the lineup of David Gahan, Martin Gore, Andy Fletcher, the late Andy Fletcher rather, and Vince Clarke. The band currently consists of just Gahan and Gore, David Gahan and Martin Gore respectively. They came out with their first debut album in 1981, Speak and Spell, which features the hit single Just Can't Get Enough. You can't get no 80s than that song. I mean, it just has everything. The synthesizers, the arpeggios, it has everything. I'm not gonna go step by step with each and every album release, but if you see on the screen, those are the rest of the albums that they were able to drop up until Violator came out. In my opinion, is one of my favorite Depeche Mode albums of all time. I think it's a lot of people's favorite albums of all time. Now, many hardcore Depeche Mode fans will challenge me on this. They will probably say albums like Music for the Masses is probably better than Violator. Violator is their more commercial album. It got the more appeal. It has the most radio hits. There were hardcore Depeche Mode fans in the early 80s into the late 80s, but then when Violator came out, here comes all the casual fans, right?
But I enjoy the silence, man.
This album is more than just enjoy the silence. I feel like when people say they like Depeche Mode, they easily go to that song. It's a great karaoke song. I get it. But let's put some respect on Violator's name. Personal Jesus, probably one of the most darkest electronic songs that was ever made. And again, commanding chorus by David Gahan, the reach out and touch me, the dark banging drums in the track, and that it has all the features that you look for. If you want electronic music 101, Personal Jesus is the track for you. Policy of Truth, which is, it's a very luxurious electronic song. I love the arpeggio guitars that comes in on the chorus. The video that comes along with it really fits the tone of the song. It was just one of those songs that really attracted my attention to Depeche Mode in the early 2010s. I got introduced to Depeche Mode in the 2010s when I was working a job where a bunch of music is played, different genres, and I remember Policy of Truth came on and I was like, man, what is this? Shazam was out at the time. I was able to Shazam it and I was like, oh wow, Depeche Mode. And then it started clicking to me. There were so many songs that they made throughout the years that I liked, but I just didn't realize who the artist was. Here comes, Shazam to the rescue, and I found out about Depeche Mode in that way, and I was able to backtrack and listen to a lot of their older music, their older albums. And one of the highlights of this band is their creativity, their innovation. They were ahead of their time when it came to this particular project. It's so many albums after this one, electronic albums per se, that follows this same pattern that Violator set back in 1990. World in My Eyes, it just has this I-95 type Knight Rider beat to it. It sounds like I'm in another dimension, or I'm entering into Galvatron, so to speak. You have Dave Gahan's dark, monotone voice throughout the chorus. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention a lot of the deeper cuts on the album. Songs like Halo, which has another dark presence to it, is much more of a ballad than it is anything. Waiting in the Night, a great track to lead into Enjoy the Silence. And then you have Blue Dress, which is an amazing song written by Martin Gore, and he just really took the songwriting to another level. And then you have Clean, which is an excellent closeout to this project. This is a bona fide classic, and if you haven't treated yourself to Violator, please do yourself a favor and check this out, because again, songs like Sweetest Perfection, again, electronic music 101, you hear it in all of the instruments being played. I would be also remiss if I didn't mention the genius that Andy Fletcher brought with his keyboarding on a lot of these projects. Some of the keyboarding on here is amazing. It's textbook signature keyboarding at its best. When I reviewed their previous release from 2023, you can tell that his presence was kind of missed in that project, even though that was a good project as well. But you kind of see the difference in sound. Another history lesson in regards to Violator. Violator is the first album that the group got together. They didn't really do any type of preparation. Usually they prep, they do a lot of meetings, they talk, they bounce out ideas off each other. This album was more, hey, let's just put our minds together and see what we come up with. Another fun fact about Enjoy the Silence is that Enjoy the Silence was supposed to originally be a slower ballad in comparison to how they made it. The more they thought about it, the more instruments they wanted to add to the track, and the next thing you know, you have a masterpiece in Enjoy the Silence. Please give this one a shot. I think you will like it. If you're a huge electronic fan, go back to the roots and listen to this album. Unfortunately, all the band members aren't together. I think the only band members that are still together, David Gahan and Martin Gore. Alan Wilder, he left the group a long time ago. Vincent Clarke also left the group years ago and started his own a couple of bands and went on his own solo career. So shout out to him. He still makes great music out there. If you haven't checked out his discography, feel free to do so. You get a lot of that good sounds that you get from Depeche Mode with him as well. That will conclude part 3 of Classic Month. Yes, Classic Album Month is finally over, and I appreciate being able to give you this classic Violator by Depeche Mode. I hope you enjoyed this episode. A lot of new music just dropped. A lot of artists are going to be dropping music soon in February, so stay tuned. If you are a Coffee and Beats fan, you want to listen to something new, pay attention to those episodes that are coming. And again, I am your musical barista, Rod the Magnificent. When it comes to coffee, when it comes to music, stay grounded for life. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.